You know, giving Bloober the benefit of the doubt and just not writing them off as bad writers or bad voice actresses or poor casting or any of that stuff, not going the full negative route and instead looking at it more objectively. There is absolutely something strange going on with Maria that wasn't in the original Silent Hill 2, and I may have a theory on that. So hang tight with me here.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities.
Look, not everybody can be the Emmy Award-winning Gen Vid and make Silent Hill Ascension and make them cater to their new fans who spent money just to pretend they know what they're talking about in the Silent Hill universe. So for those that are remaking something as beloved as Silent Hill 2, Bloober had to make sure they gave us a little something. And with that, we got the storyline trailer, which I must say, overall, as compared to the rest of the trailers going on, it was so necessary, and we needed it so much. So I'm very happy in that respect. Not any new complaints, none really that are new compared to the complaints that were before, the concerns that were before. So I kind of just took it with a grain of salt, but there were a few things of note that were amazing. You know, most notably Eddie's new look, which I love. But the other thing was Mary. Mary's delivery of lines, Mary's stunted and stilted delivery of whatever was on the script almost came off as flat and monotone, but when analyzing and kind of looking deeper into it and thinking about it, assuming we are not looking at a situation where they just miscast Maria and Mary, this is something where I had a theory, and I mentioned this in the last video, and so this is kind of expanding on it. I call this the Marionette theory because it lives to its name. The idea is that Mary, instead of existing as her own entity kind of created without her knowing or without her provocation, she just came to be, like in the Born from a Wish DLC. Instead, I think it's something a little more sinister. Follow with me real quick, and you just tell me what you think at the end. You see, playing more into the construct idea that I had initially supposed with the original Silent Hill 2, Maria and Mary were two sides of the same coin, sure, and every fan knows how they were separated apart. Maria being the sexual, the more desirable part of Mary, Mary being the sickly wife that he had left behind, and spoiler alert, ended up killing. However, Maria was a pawn also, as she was created to essentially die. She was essentially used to move James around Silent Hill as he went on a This Is Your Life tour and learned all the hard lessons and got the repressed memories back. And then once the culmination of everything had kind of arrived at the end, you got to finally find Mary, who, based on your actions, will have a better or worse ending for you. Everyone knows that, and we get that part. And this is the part where it kind of calls back to me mentioning in a few videos ago that I don't think they're going to use the plot line verbatim, and I don't think they're going to use the same exact theories. While they are dealing with a lot of fans using the same exact methods or requesting the same exact methods whenever they see their new remake, they want to see the same exact thing shot for shot. I get it. Bloober Team can't do that. If they do that, they haven't really done anything to transform Silent Hill 2. And if you are remaking a game or you are doing an HD remix, whatever the case may be, you always have to transform, or else there's no point in even making it. Yes, money is good, and yes, people are nostalgic for this game, but they're not going to spend money if it's an absolute shot for shot. And this goes for movies, games, candy bars, new flavor of Gatorade, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? When we first played or watched or read the summary, a synopsis of Born from a Wish, there was a inherent pity we had for Maria, as she had no knowing of any events prior to James coming to Silent Hill. She just became something. And this was the doing of Silent Hill that kind of just manifested her so that she could manifest in front of James. She could do everything she was kind of just told to do. However, there was a side to her mind and a side to her dialogue and narrative that kind of showed that she had no control of this either. She had no knowing of this either. She didn't know of a purpose. She didn't know why she was there. She just knew she had to be near James. And that's what she did. She sought him out. And it was a really good plot line. And my heart, as a kid, my heart went out to her, because ultimately, in the end, she was powerless to stop this. This is something that was beyond her control, and whatever mishap befell her, that's just how the dice rolled. And it was very sad and tragic, and it was just another side of Silent Hill 2 that you got to see, and you got attached to. When you watch the new trailer for the new remake, something's off. Almost like that part of Maria has been gutted from the synopsis, let alone the synopsis, as well as the performance itself. And I think I figured out why. Now, this is, of course, a theory, so take it with a grain of salt, but this is my favorite thing to do with Silent Hill. I propose this. They've removed the idea that she is kind of clueless to stop this force. I propose one of two things. Either one, Silent Hill is actually just controlling her. She's less sentient than she was in the very first Silent Hill 2. Or she understands the mission, and much like Ada Wong, she'll follow the main character only to inevitably backstab him. Maria's portrayal of the intro scene, reenacting that intro scene in the monotone voice that everyone seems to call out and immediately say it's awful. If you look at it from the scope of what I've just explained to you, she seems bored. She seems uninterested. She seems like she is doing a job. Everything she's saying is regurgitating core memories from Mary while still offering a better version. Do you remember when we went to our special place? You're always so forgetful. What do you want me to be? Who do you want me to call, or what do you want to call me? She's very, very to the point. She's essentially saying, hey, look, I can be whatever you want. So even if I'm not Mary, which I'm not, what do you want me to be? It makes me lean more towards the idea that Silent Hill is directly using her as a marionette rather than just kind of creating a clay, personification of Mary. Silent Hill is directly channeling itself into her so that they can kind of do a Wishmaster thing and just say, what would you like? You're in our town now. What would you like me to be? Mr. Guy that decides to suffocate his wife. What would you prefer we were going to be? And the tone is what ultimately clued me into that. Yes, there is a good chance it could have just been a really terrible voice actor or a really bad artistic choice. But given the benefit of the doubt, Bloober has to kind of spin the plot from the original Silent Hill 2 on its head, or it has to elaborate. And I am hoping dearly that it elaborates, because if Maria is directly tied to Silent Hill, if she is Silent Hill personified, that means for the first time ever you get to actually speak with Silent Hill. And the idea that James will get to directly challenge or directly speak with his accusers brings up a whole different part of the spectrum. I think this idea may be far more plausible now that we've learned that the creative designer has come forward and said, quite literally, this game is double the length of the original Silent Hill 2. Which means they added so much more content. They can't add an additional 4 to 5 hours more of just running through hallways. That's not the additional content. It has to be plotline. Now, say what you like about Bloober Team, but every game I've played with them, their stories were rock solid. Not the greatest thing since sliced bread, mind you, but they were rock solid. Layers of Fear was a good one. Very enigmatic. And then The Medium was another one that was really good. Really good. So to be given core material from Silent Hill 2 from Konami, Bloober had to take the same story you know and love that you've dissected, pulled apart, yelled at a bunch of people, claimed they didn't know shit about, and then you came through with your knowledge. They have to take that same plot and they have to surprise you. Why? Because if you get exactly what you asked for and you just get a shot-for-shot remake, then only you will be happy. And these new fans out there that are just walking into Silent Hill won't be happy at all. How are they going to turn it on its head? Well, for starters, the biggest and easiest way to do that is Maria. Maria is no longer the busty stripper that walks around with a short skirt. God, couldn't even speak that in English. She's no longer the stripper that walks around in a short skirt and just says sexual things and bends over weird and pulls a key out of her cleavage. No, instead, she is literally amalgamating herself to whatever you desire, or whatever James desires, whatever he wishes. She now asks, what do you want me to become? Her purpose and goal is far more clear. However, what controls her in the end, I couldn't tell you. But I'm excited to find that if it is possible to directly speak with Silent Hill or the powers that be, whatever they may be, if there's a way to directly speak with them, I'm in. And I'm in because this is something I've wanted from every Silent Hill since the beginning. I don't want to talk to acolytes. I don't want to talk to peasants, peons, priests, clerics. I don't want to talk to any of them. I don't want to talk to leaders of cults. I don't want to talk to hapless heroes. I want to talk to Silent Hill directly, because in doing that, you get a direct answer of what it wants or what it intends to do or what its purpose is. And that's what I'm here for. I would love to see that. I don't know. What do you think? Is it just a terrible actor? Is it just a, set of lines that were botched horribly and we're going to deal with the worst kind of game? Or do you think there's something far more sinister going on? What do you think of my theory? Why don't you let me know in the comments, because I'm very curious. I want to talk about this theory, but there's not enough people around here in my general vicinity to really discuss. But I would definitely love to hear from you. Yeah. No, it's weird because there is a want for this to be real or something akin to it. I want it to be real. On the same token, I just can't 100% put all my chips on them being a really, really bad developer, even if some games were less than fun. Fun fact, everybody who subscribed to my Patreon is the one reason I was able to get the most expensive version of Silent Hill 2 Remake so that we can all see what it is, fresh out of the package. I'll be going through everything given, plus I get the 2-day period in which you get to play the game early. So that couldn't have happened without Patreon. I cannot thank you guys enough. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. Thumbs up, leave comments. All these interactions throw me right back in the algorithm, and then other people see my stuff. And then we can really start arguing about Silent Hill stuff. Because that's what we do. We're Silent Hill fans. We argue, we yell at each other, we accuse each other of not playing any of the games, and then we circle right on back until we get a new Silent Hill. I'm still worried about that movie, though. Really, really worried. By the way, I'm surprised no one's noticed yet. Have you noticed the hats? Just how many hats I've been cycling through just to make these last 3 videos? I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but there you go.